Now, you may have heard of Tailwind before, but are you taking advantage of Tailwind Tribes? Because currently, right now, as of me recording this, tribes are free to get started with. Okay, so on today's video, we will be discussing Pinterest and how you can join Tailwind's tribes to grow your traffic through Pinterest. You don't have to use Tailwind as a scheduler, but you should at least try Tailwind Tribes. So let's dive into what they are and how you can use them to get traffic and find new content for your Pinterest and the followers that follow you on Pinterest. So let's get started. So first things first, if you're not familiar with Tailwind, you go to tailwindapp.com and you go to the dashboard once you have set yourself up with a free account. Now, I use Tailwind for lots of things, but specifically today we're going to be talking about tribes. And right now, Tribes is a free feature that you can get without paying for Tailwind. So you definitely will want to try and take advantage of this. So once you're on Tribes, you come to find a tribe, and this is where you're going to join existing tribes. Now, what tribes are groups of people who have a like-minded interest. And so let's say you're a knitting blogger. You blog about knitting. You're going to want to find tribes that have other content creators who create content that's great for your audience. So you could join other knitting tribes, craft tribes, or things related to the interests of your audience so that you have a never-ending supply of content that you can share on your Pinterest. It's also like a share for share tool. So if you share, other content creators will likely share your content as well. So you come to find a tribe and you can search by keyword or you can search by category. So going with the theme of knitting, we'll click on DIY and crafts and let's see, crochet, and it will show you all of the tribes that have a lot of members and a lot of activity, all the way to smaller tribes with less activity. So you'll definitely want to join tribes that have a decent amount of activity and maybe even a decent amount of members if you're really interested in getting an unlimited supply of content to share. So you're going to notice there are some you can join right away, and then there are others that you have to request to join because tribes are created by Tailwind members. And if the Tailwind member chooses to make their tribe private and access by requesting to join only, that's up to them. Also, each tribe has its own set of rules. So let's take a look at that. So here we are looking at my tribes, the tribes that I've joined. And if you see, this is the name of the tribe we're on now, Best Blogging and Social Media Tips. And this box down here is the information about the tribe and the rules, and also some analytics and metrics about the actual tribe itself. Now, if you click this drop down, you can see all of the tribes that I'm actually a member of at the moment. And then you've got these three columns here, any new pins that are shared within the tribe, all the pins I've shared, and then some additional options as well. Now, when you pop into a tribe, once you've joined one, there are a few available options to you. The first easy one that you'll want to tackle is how to share someone's pin from a Tailwind tribe. The best way to do that is to look through the pins. You can also search by words that are included in the descriptions of the pins. So if, let's just say, you are a knitter, So here's a few options that came up with the word knit. So I'm just going to go ahead and click on it, and it will open up further for me. And the way you do that is you click right here. See this little tiny Pinterest pin over here? Go ahead and click it, and it'll take you to the original pin. Now you, as a manual pinner, this is where you can manually pin to your Pinterest. If you want to schedule it through Tailwind, then you can start to fill out the boards you want to share it to. So for me, it would be maybe DIY and crafts. It's not actually related to knitting, but we're going to pretend. And then you'll hit add it to queue. Now, you can add more boards than just the one, which is highly recommended. If you're going to actually schedule this through Tailwind, you want to put this on as many boards that you can that are relevant and that you feel comfortable pinning this to. And for me, I like to pin things on an interval schedule, which means I'm not going to pin them to 5 different boards all at the same time or within a similar time frame. It means I want to send them to my Pinterest in an interval, which is a, let's just say 1 every day instead of 5 added all at once. It'll be 5 over a 5-day period. So what I do there is I set a custom time. Okay. Actually, I need to have more than one board. So let's just pick another board. Here, I picked 3, and you're going to click use intervals. And so you can see that it's saying start the first pin on this day, and how much time do you want between each pin, meaning between each board. And 1 day is fine, and you can either have it scheduled to your open time slots, optimized, or exact. Now, I will show you what this means in a minute, but it's basically saying every day pin to these boards until there's no more pins left to pin. And you hit set interval, and it will go ahead and populate on your schedule. So I will show you what that schedule looks like now. So you come over to Publisher and go to Scheduled Pins. So I've got a pretty big schedule, and what it's going to do once you've hit scheduled is it's going to populate all the open spots 1 day apart, starting at whatever time it is that you chose on your interval. So it'll fill in those spots, and then you can go back to your tribes, and now you can schedule your pins. So not actually schedule, but really upload your pins to the tribe. So here I am back in the tribes, and I'm on the Yours tab, and you can see all of the pins that I've added to this particular tribe, and you can see how many times it's been shared, and that's the information that you're going to want to look at, is find out by looking at the top. This blue symbol here is going to tell you how many times a particular pin in a tribe has been shared across Facebook, Pinterest, and at the moment Google+. So in order to add your own pins here, you have to go to Pinterest. And you don't have to go to Pinterest, but I do, and that's because I have the Tailwind extension in my Chrome browser. So what that extension does is, when you can see that when I hover over pins on Pinterest, there's this little Tailwind icon. So by clicking that icon over a pin of mine that maybe I want to share to Tailwind, it populates in this window now. You can see it's a Google Chrome window, and that's all because I have the Tailwind extension added. In order to add the Tailwind extension, you just go to Google and type in Tailwind Chrome extension, and this will come up. And so you can see it, I've already got it, but you can add it to your Chrome extension with 1 click. So now back to this pin that I want to share to my Tailwind tribes. This window's popped up, and you can see right here this button that says Add to Tribes. So from Pinterest, I clicked on that Tailwind icon that popped up, and this window opened. And then you hit Add to Tribes, and then you pick which tribes you want to add it to. Now I have 80 available to me. If you have the free version, you might have less, and you just click Add to Tribes, and then once you do that, it will be populated in your Tailwind Tribes. Another way to add it is if you do have a schedule, or if you've added pins to Tailwind, you've got the same options available to you here. You can click Add to Tailwind Tribes from your drafts. You can also come over here and upload new images and create pins that way, and then you'll be able to, once you've created the pins, you'll be able to add them to tribes here. But as you can see, it's a lot easier if you have this Tailwind extension. So the point of Tailwind Tribes is to share your pins here and hope that other Tailwind members are sharing your pins to Pinterest and scheduling your pins to Pinterest, and also share the love by scheduling and sharing other pinners' pins as well. So it's really a share for share community, and that is how you're going to gain more exposure to your content, is by exposing your content to people in your niche. So to get started, all you have to do is sign up with Pinterest. I'll drop the link to this below the video, but here is a great way to get started with Tailwind Tribes, and it is free. As you can see, it says Tailwind Tribes is free to use. Now, if you are new to Pinterest, I highly recommend you come to my website, ivorymix.com, or go to the link that I share below and come over to my free guides page. You can get yourself a free guide to Pinterest. It's a complete guide to getting you more traffic and more exposure on the platform, how to set up your profile correctly, how to set up boards and pins that really attract the right kinds of visitors, and it's free. And so if you like this video and you thought it was helpful, please leave a comment. Let me know if you have any questions, and hit that subscribe button for more smart visual marketing